Welcome everybody to Can't Draw Horses Club. Today, I, Corey, am joined by Jane from Edsy and Jane Comics. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
So, today,
Oh,
today, Edsy and Jane has prepared a slideshow to explain what we doing. Welcome, Raiders. You're gonna make me read the words Edsy and Jane again, and it's gonna I'm gonna get stuck
yes,
in a loop.
I am the Jane of Adzian fame, as TXC2 said. Uh, and yeah, we've got our own little streaming community rating us. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. And yeah, I do have a little presentation I'll go up. This is not going to be remotely professional. Like I can brag that I'm a professional artist because I do it and make money. But I'm not sure you trust me to give a college presentation, but I'm gonna do my best.
Okay, so this is gonna be graded, and it was a group assignment. Uh, where's the rest of
Well,
your
I
team?
well like a
Are they sick?
well like any good group assignment, I did all the work. And I think I've really put something special here together.
All right,
So,
here we go.
all right. So my presentation here for you is Bodies in Contact, a presentation by Adsy and Jane Comics. And basically, I so previously on Can't Draw Horses Club, I've talked about like character design and drawing comics and stuff. And this time I'm really focusing more on visuals and sort of bodies in contact. Like obviously one of the comics I draw is not safe for work, but we will not be, going over any not safe for work topics today. We're talking about, hand holding, hugs, uh, you know, other kinds of stuff. We're
Kicking
going to be
people in the
starting soft.
face.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be starting soft and in, progressing into gradually more shall we say like elaborate situations. But yeah, so all the art on this page is obviously stuff I've drawn myself. I have some character sketches. I've got snippets from some of my comics. Uh, I've got, well, basically fan art I've drawn of my own fanfic. So, you know, like normal nerd things. And yeah, so that's just our intro slide. And we're going to be starting with comfortable, intimate contact. Basically, when characters are interacting in a way that shows to you, the viewer, that's like, oh, these people are close. So obviously, you can sort of see my bias here. I pulled from a couple of my favorite Yuri manga. I pulled from some of my own comics for this.
Sorry, what? I need
Um,
the names of those Yuri manga.
yeah, actually, there is a credit slide at the end,
Okay,
but
good.
I'll provide them now. The first one is Ayaka is in love with Hiroko, which is a very sweet sort of like mid-length Yuri manga that's basically follows Ayaka's attempts to get Hiroko to understand that she is in love with her, which does the panel I selected is unfortunately a bit of a spoiler, but it's a romance manga. You know how this is going to end. Um, but yeah, I absolutely adore this kiss right here. So let's talk about that before moving on to the rest of the images here. Like this kiss right here is like this is my favorite example of a big dramatic sweeping someone off their feet kiss. Like let's zoom in a little here.
Enhance.
Enhance. So yeah. So amongst other things, basically when you're drawing in bodies in contact, it's a matter of overlapping shapes. Like when you put two faces together, that's basically like two overlapping circles, like, and then, all the other parts here sort of you can sort of see, and then detailing those out, so you have the lips overlapping here, like Hiroka's nose here, over like sort of obscuring Ayaka's face. Like, this is a pretty deep kiss, like you can sort of tell that by the angle here. um there's a sort of like comparison here that can be drawn to that one sort of infamous World War II picture of like the sailor, grabbing that nurse. But I think like the angles here are a lot more gentle. And that's the sort of thing I would like to capture with it, because I actually use this as a reference for something I drew that's on the intro page, like right here.
Okay.
But like, she's gently supporting Ayaka's hand here with this hand, gently supporting her back here. You've got the slight indentation here from the fabric. I love the way like this panel has their various like fabrics moving here. You've got Ayaka's hair being blown all over the place, like without obscuring their faces. It's so like perfect an example of like, just, this is a very close cathartic moment. So from that peak, let's get into some hand holding. I am not going to be making any memes or jokes about hand holding being degenerate, because I fucking love hand holding. It is one of the best. It is one of the things I enjoy drawing most, despite how frustrating it is. Like, I've got 3 panels here that is just like, I want to draw 3 panels of people holding hands in different ways. But first, I'm going to focus on the sample here. This example right here is from the Yuri manga Run Away With Me Girl. Content warning for domestic abuse, essentially, but it is extremely well written, very well drawn, very tense. It is a comic that dragged me through the depths of despair before raising me back up to the heights of catharsis. With basically this moment, you have basically, you start with sort of this panel right here, where the character on the right is sort of readying to reach out. And then here, you basically have these 2 overlapping ovals, and then the fingers intertwining. Drawing intertwining fingers can get pretty difficult. Like, it's the sort of thing AI is never going to get right. It's always going to like scramble them, because getting those interlocking, fingers when they hit from different angles, like, you can do it with your own hands. Like, since generally it's going to be like right hand to left hand or left hand to right hand. It's not going to be like a handshake. So you can use your own hands as a reference. But it is the sort of thing where it's like, okay, how do I get this looking right?
I'm going to be staring at my own hands a lot during this, I think.
Oh, yeah. Like, hands are such an important part of, the idea of intimate contact, because hands are the primary way we interact with other people, with, our own bodies. And, like, drawing that out in the way shapes contact each other is really important. So in addition to, just the basic shapes here, like pressing against each other, you have, like different parts of it overlapping. Like this one, overlaps on this part, and this part is overlapping on this part. You also have the surrounding effect, like the gradient here, where you have, the darker bits on the top and bottom, and then essentially implying these hands grasping each other is creating light. Like, it's not obviously a literal thing, it's not diegetic. It's like, this is what it means emotionally for these hands to grasp each other. And then that's basically followed by this panel, this panel here, where like these hands are now like, it started with the like they're starting to entangle here, and now they're firmly grasping each other. Like, you've got the angles of the arm here, they're like growing a bit closer, pulling each other into it. Like you have the like sparks of light, these like sort of glowing effects here, just really like emphasizing the tightness between these people. And so that's the sort of thing I've tried to capture with my own hand holding. Let's focus on this panel here. So I basically got, 3 different examples here. I've got a sort of, tight, here, let me choose a different color so it stands out more. You've got these 2 hands, which is slightly more of a handshake. They're still, it's still right hand to left hand, but it's a bit more like when you go over like that, it's probably a tighter grip overall. Like you don't get, some of the like difficulties with intertwining the fingers, but it's still a very like one of the things I tried to capture was the softness of like one hand resting in the other while the fingers of the like left hand starts to curl around it. And then like similar but contrasting with it, in this case, like one of the hands is resting in the other, essentially, and the other is almost like more gently cupping it. Like not as much of a tightness there, but much more of a gentle like resting. And then for the final panel, I went full intertwined fingers, like making sure to emphasize the slight difference in the sizes of their fingers. Like this character has a slightly more slender hand compared to the other one, like emphasizing the folds in skin, like there. And to cap it all off, these characters have thematic colors, and I have this gradient here that's basically emphasizing that. So you have the character with the red color holding the character with the blue color's hand, blue color holding yellow, yellow holding red. This is followed by a panel of basically them in essentially like a triangle holding each other's hands as they focus their magic. And sort of, you can get the sort of emotional beat I'm going for there, like without seeing any other surrounding context, what can these panels tell you about the relationships between these characters? That's an open question, but I can continue if you'd like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. And then I obviously want to get a little hugging in here and some more casual closeness. So this is a panel from USXW, sort of our 2 leading ladies, Judy and Sandra, just having a nice, sweet embrace. It's a bit of a more cartoony style. There's not quite as many of the folds and details that would emphasize them pressing against each other, but you've still got that overlap. You've got Judy's head here, like overlapping with Sandra's shoulder, while Sandra's own face is sort of hidden behind Judy's hair. You have Sandra's hand like resting against Judy's head, and then you have Judy's other arm coming up behind Sandra's there, just sort of really emphasizing that overlap to capture, yeah, these characters are close. These characters are really in love. And sort of, both comparing and contrasting that to this one, sort of much more casually resting against each other. Like the overlap is more, like Judy's head here resting like in the nook of Sandra's arm, her body resting against Sandra's side. Their lower bodies are angled away from each other, like so they can stretch out, but that sort of, draws attention to the points of contact along this line, is the idea there. So yeah, that's what I've got currently for, sort of more comfortable and intimate contact.
Now violence.
before we move on, I'd like to, start. I'd like to at least start
Okay.
drawing something. We can play it by ear. I prepared some sketches basically in advance, and I'm going to be drawing over these.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is my first outline. And basically, I'm just going to sort of try either choose or make up two characters on the fly, emphasizing their different sizes and sort of going for, seeing how quickly I can capture the folds and presses between them. So yeah, you're welcome to join me with whatever you feel like drawing. Yeah. So sort of feeling like a more. Let's see here.
Oh man, Beowulf. OSHA's a butt. Let's talk about OSHA violations. It's all about May. We're talking about the Acolyte.
Yeah. What? Sorry, what's the Acolyte?
It's a Star Wars story about a couple of twins that get kind of raised light side and dark side after being kidnapped from their witch family. Force witches. Yeah.
Interesting.
The oh god, what's his name? From The Good Place, Jacksonville. He's the Sith, and it's really funny to me. It's just I can't unsee it. yeah, Bortles. Yeah. Is Manny Jacinto? I think. Yeah. Sorry to get distracted by chat. I will draw some people hugging.
The only thing you really need to like get a hug going is just get those overlapping shapes in there. Like get those folds in there, where you can sort of see things getting tighter. So here for the hands, I think I'm going for sort of spread out fingers that are sort of trying to really emphasize the grip. I may not succeed. Doing hands is never a guarantee. Nothing is promised with hands, but
what even are they?
They are strange penis-shaped appendages at the end of our arms. For a bit of overlap there. And for the hand on top, it's going to be gently resting.
And I've roughly sketched stuff out, so I'm refining it now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, As you just pointed out, I was technically making a Fallout New Vegas reference there.
I was not
But,
listening.
yeah. Okay,
So
to the
is this a pic of someone hugging Manny Jacinto? It is now. It is now. But he's gonna have his force blocking helmet with the teeth.
I don't know who managed there is. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's see here. Okay, yeah, I think that turned out pretty well. It holds up without the, bottom layer. So yeah, a hug.
A hug.
And I think what I really wanted to emphasize most was, that sort of fabric pull there. So yeah, that turned out pretty good. Hugs are great. I love a good hug. And I've been told I've been pretty good at giving them.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good skill.
Someone just brought up Hugs, Grizzly Guardian, Badger Warrior from... I presume Bloomburrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we've been pretty successful there. Whew. Oh, sorry, just gotten a little hot.
Is it time for fashion over? It's
Not yet.
Not yet.
I've got water. I've got a fan. All right. Whew. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been intimate contact, comfortable. Now it comes intimate contact,
Uncomfortable. Yay!
Yeah. So the idea behind this slide is about when there's intimate contact and it is tense. Like this is like when a character is like doing the kabedon,
Yeah.
the Japanese term for the
Pushing the hand against the wall beside somebody.
yeah, sort of a running theme in the manga selections I have here are like grabbing by the wrist instead of the hand.
Right?
Like, so just like, like right here and like here, you can sort of see the way he's grabbing her hand is a lot more like he's not even grabbing it like by the palm or anything. It's sort of like over and grip to like prevent it from, pulling away, or slightly less toxic, but still like, like first panel here, and then it does a perspective flip, which is, not always a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
But here again, grabbing by the wrist, like, hey, are you doing this for me, or is there something different for you? Again, like emphasizing it's like this is less a point of connection and more a point of control.
Right.
Yeah. Is Darth Vader doing a force choke in uncomfortable intimate contact? That's a really good question. I think
when he physically lifts that guy up that one time, that one's yeah.
Actually, the time when we first see Darth Vader, where he is holding the guy up like by his neck, and is fully like still apparently probably a foot taller than him. It's like that counts in this category. That is uncomfortable intimate contact. His hand is in there, and like he is crushing that guy's windpipe.
Mm-hmm. Rebel
Like,
scum.
yeah. And then, of course, we have the infamous female bullying meme over here.
It makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, but again, like, wrist contact, like, grip is emphasizing, like, control rather than, point of contact. Uh, so these panels, to elaborate, these two right here are again, run away with me, girl. Uh, you can maybe guess what's going on there. Uh, this is from I Can't Say No to the Lonely Girl, which is a very cute Yuri series, um, which I very much enjoy.
Hmm.
And another Yuri, and then this is Hello Melancholic, another series I very enjoy. This sort of very awkward pose here from the main character, I love. Like, you've got essentially her eventual love interest here, who is like essentially like closing in on her space, like trying to sort of overlap their shapes. And like basically you have the MC here who would be limp if like, you know, like she wasn't being held up. She is not like, it's very awkward stick coated, which I love. So there's sort of, like there's a oh god, what's the word? Gradients. There's a sliding scale here of like toxicity. Basically, you've got uh, you've got a very obviously like uh, you've got a fight for power here, where he's trying to exert his will. You've got like a more intimate, like grabbing the wrist but not like seizing control of it. And then you have the sort of very awkward like supporting the wrist up and like sort of creeping in on her, but not completely violating her space.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, there's
So
one
yeah.
thing I have to do.
Yeah. Are you stealing Look at this photograph.
Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
Oh god.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for the
It really
interruption.
is no, like it is a perfect, sort of distillation of what I'm talking about here. Like it is almost elemental in what it does for us. So yeah. Um so intimate uncomfortable contact, emphasizing tension, emphasizing like, both physical power and social power. Uh emphasizing awkwardness. Like these are all, reasons to focus on uncomfortable intimate contact between characters. That can be like a weird hug. That can be like, having weird points of control with like one character leaning over the other while they're like, holding some part of their body or
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Sorry, one second. And yeah. So again, we're going to go to the body sketch page, and I've got my second thing prepped for today. The idea I'm going with here is I'm going to have these points of control where wrists are being grabbed,
Mm-hmm.
like one from the other, and then sort of the like very emphasizing one character is trying to like back away like into a wall, another is like moving forward against them, like really try and emphasize that discomfort.
Mm-hmm. What's the right arm doing for the red figure? Like, they're pushing in, or like the
Yeah,
green's pushing down, but
yeah, the idea there. Here, 1 second. is that they're meant to be reaching forward while the green character like pushes them away.
Okay.
So I'm feeling werewolf vampire vibes here, so I think that's what I'll try drawing.
Okay, but you have to flip it.
Oh, make the big character a vampire and
Yeah.
the small one a werewolf?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I will take this direction.
You're welcome.
Thank you. 1 second. Oh. So yeah, this is the sort of thing where, making up a character on the fly, but just by dint of the pose, like there's already a story there. Just like, oh, these two have been at each other's throats for some time.
All right. I'm pulling up bullying again so I can kind of sketch what their forms look like. Do you ever do redraw challenges? Like not just using reference from memes or stuff you see for your own actual work, but just for fun?
I do them on occasion. Sometimes I'm effectively doing them as like, okay, I need like this as a reference, and I'm basically doing that. But yeah, the redraw challenges are a lot of fun. Looking at this has activated my karate brain, and I'm trying to figure out how I would escape this fight from TXC2.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Give her a little bat earring. Ooh, that's a great narrative, Brownie Points. I just think of a young werewolf boy out on one of his first nights hunting creatures of darkness and just getting bodied by a buff vampire lady.
All right, yeah. Yeah, Cantor Horses Club spin-off.
Oh god, that's great. Yeah, no, if you play a lot of World Darkness, that's probably gonna happen, yeah.
What that you'll uh,
Uh
interact with werewolves, or that
Brownie points. Look, I played too much World of Darkness to not internalize werewolves as protectors of the natural realm.
uh
Yeah.
tree huggers.
Let's see here. Let's draw the nose. I think I'll go slightly more conventional, more emphasize the fangs. Sort of mid transformation there.
Is it easier to go with your layering back to front or front to back? I guess if you're doing
Uh,
forms, it's back to front.
yeah, I generally put my sketch layer on the bottom and like my lines on top. Because otherwise it's hard for me to figure out where my lines are. Let's see here. Spin-off crossover between Horse Club and Bite Club.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. Season 3, it's going to be Corey's art. And I'll be doing the music too. Yeah.
Go. Conserve fluffy there. A werehunts. Hmm.
A friend of mine was playing Skyrim, and his horse got vampirism and bit him to death.
And bit him to death.
Yeah.
Amazing. Not sure if vanilla Skyrim though. I mean, who even plays vanilla Skyrim anymore?
Well, this was a long time ago.
Actually, no, wait. Tail should be curved downward in fear.
Ooh. Yeah, no, it's where creatures in Dwarf Fortress, so
Yeah.
what you have to worry about. Might get
Now
like
we're cooking.
a were giraffe in your fort just rampaging, and then like your militia get bit and they go to the hospital, and then several months later, while they're still, waiting for their legs to heal, they turn into giraffes too and kill your entire medical team.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then your fort's just full of blood and body parts that start to rot. And people go to clean it up and they start throwing up everywhere.
Yeah, I have attempted some Dwarf Fortress in the past. I can't say I've actually ever gone far enough for everything to catastrophically fail on me. Because it's like I get to the point where it's like, okay, I got them digging a hole, I've got them sorting stuff out.
Uh-huh.
Now what? And then I get distracted and go do something else.
Oh. Not you're like, okay,
Yeah.
so now I'm going to collect all the books in the world. Or now I'm going to become royalty. Or I'm going to be.
Yeah. I find it hard to like set my own goals.
Oh.
Like satisfactory can like eat my brain because there's always like, hey, here's the next tier of stuff you can be working on.
Right.
Like whereas, with Dwarf Purchase it's like, hey, make your own fun. And I'm just like, instructions unclear. That's part of why I've been so grateful to Adsy, in our time as Adsy and Jane Comics, is Adsy gives me a direction like for my creative outlets. It's like I have an idea for this comic, and I know kind of what I want to do, but what I really need is a checklist. And Adsy scripting is basically that. It's just like, hey, Jane, here's what you need to do.
When I don't, gosh, I don't remember if we've gone over this, but when Andy's scripting, do you get a lot of like stage direction, basically?
Adsy tends to be pretty light on stage direction. Sometimes I will request some additional one. Like, what were you like picturing when you wrote this?
Right.
Other times they do leave that up to my interpretation a lot. I do often like give feedback on the script itself, or just straight up make modifications, which then get approved. Uh, it's very like we're bouncing an idea back and forth, and like it quickly reaches a completed stage where it's just like, okay, we both really like, okay. So my thought here is the hand needs to like,
Is the hand holding the wrist?
yeah, the idea is the hand is holding the wrist, but now I'm reconsidering the angle I have it at.
Right.
So give me a moment to think, because it doesn't quite look like I have this poor werewolf boy being backed up against a wall, but
Or a tree. Tree hugging werewolf.
I think maybe right here. Let's go back to the sketch layer a bit. What if instead of that?
Curious, Adsy, what happened in your super deep hellhole? What'd you find? What'd you find down there? Like, I know lava's fun, but that's a different kind of fun.
Well, it turns out that she just built the Uriston Sons Memorial Volcano.
Yeah, okay, lava. You found lava. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, okay. I think what she's going to be doing more is...
Yeah, more stretched out.
like really pulling his other arm up, like pulling him off center. Yeah, this is gonna take a little modification, but I think I've got it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Hmm. I was prepared for any monster, but not billions of tons of boiling rock.
Use the rock on the monsters.
Since it looks like we'll have plenty of time, even after I do these sketches,
Yep.
like what we'll probably do is run through the entire presentation and then go back and start like filling these out with like color and stuff
I
for
think when
fun.
you're done this one, would be a good time to take a break. So
Yeah,
then we
sounds
can
sounds good.
return with more presentation.
So really emphasize the grip here. Which actually the fur can maybe help with a bit. Looks a little awkward, but I can live with that. Yeah, I have a sticker on my primary sketchbook that says
Hold on.
"Done is better than perfect."
Yeah,
If you can see that.
it's a good sentiment.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it is the guiding principle that has gotten us to 108 Arcana Watch comics, and I think 131 pages of ESXW. So, there's certainly something to say for done is better than perfect.
Just imagine, like, paper.
God, what? Yeah, I was going to say, like, imagine if they were still editing RoadQuest.
Oh.
Yeah. All
Oh.
too easy, isn't it? But it's like, no, at a certain point, it's like, no, this is, fit for release. Okay, let's see here. Is there anything that's obviously missing? Well, yes.
Yeah, that edit took a
Took
while.
some time.
Took some time.
Yeah.
I was not involved, but I was there.
There she is, moving in. Let's see here. Yeah, I like this. Got a furry monster boy here doing his best to snarl.
Yep. Oh no. Completely overpowered by this frilly shirted vampire.
Mm-hmm. Just like, oh, how cute. Like if you're a werewolf, the last thing you ever want to hear from a vampire is that you're cute. Like, oh, you're trying to impress me. Oh, you're trying to
Uh huh.
like trying to throw around like you're the big man.
Yep. There's
You're
room for
welcome.
some dynamics.
Oh yeah, it's sort of my favorite. Like in terms of like the topic of intimate contact, I love like uncomfortable intimate contact in the narrative context. It's like I love that like I'm not sure what's going on in this situation. It looks a little weird. Huh.
Do you ever have to go through like sort of a how would a character react in this situation? Like, are they a fight or flight type?
Yeah, that's actually so I've got so we'll get to the sketches from Chainbreaker later. That's actually something like I think about a lot with sort of one of my characters, Petal, where it's just like she gets into a lot of situations where she has to make a fight or flight response. And it's just like, oh god, oh god, oh god, like what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are these two fighting or flirting? Yes. Yeah, that's a great dynamic. I love that. Like, it's just a lot of fun. There we go. Yeah, I really like it. I really like how this second one turned out. I think that's a good grip. So yeah, probably good time for a break.
Yep. All right, chat. We're gonna run some ads, and we'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. See you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, everybody, to Can't Draw Horses Club. Today, Jane's showing us how to draw people touching each other.
Yes, and after getting over some of the more gentle forms of touching each other, it's time for intimate contact violence.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm afraid I didn't get as many for this slide, but I like to think the ones I got were as good. So overlapping shapes again is sort of where this like bridges the gap between this and the other topics. But yeah, intimate contact violence, your fight scenes, your close contact like brawls, like the interplay of sex and violence. Like all right, so the main sketches I was able to contribute to this were basically sketches from my exalted fanfiction Chainbreaker, which you can read on Archive of Our Own, AO3. But the reason I brought them in, I basically wanted something that I'd drawn to like sort of demonstrate the overlapping / contact points idea
Right.
between shapes. So right here, you have essentially like one character's body right here. Wrong pen. Yeah, one character's body right here.
It's just a little bean.
Head. Yeah. And you basically have the implication that like there's a hand here being like sort of holding him up. And then from there, you have the fist, which, thanks to foreshortening, is smaller, but like the points of blood indicate there's been a lot of contact going on. Like, and so this is a very like, like waiting power. We'll get there, brownie points. We'll get there. So you have this character utterly defenseless, like sort of emphasizing the points of context here are entirely under this character's control, and she is just wailing on him. Like, so that's sort of, the goal there, like emphasizing that there is a strike going from this fist down hard enough to leave another bloodstain on the ground where his head is hitting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then for this one, this is a lot more character flying into basically a crowd like almost a wall of shapes. But her body is basically an arrow or a hammer, even like with her kick being flat against this guy's face, which is distending against it,
Yep.
like sort of emphasizing the power of that dive kick. Yeah, if you like stories of Don Castes who are completely out of patience, check out Chainbreaker. But moving on to our other examples,
Girl
one of my favorite
Genius.
panels yeah, this is a panel from Girl Genius, one of my favorite actually, because it's actually a callback to an earlier chapter. I did include this under violence rather than like uncomfortable contact, because this is very much like Agatha here is utterly in control of the situation and basically threatening, like, you know, like, I will fucking kill you if you screw up in this moment. Literally, like, I don't want to hurt you, but I will if you act stupid. I'm going to give you one chance. Don't make me regret it. Like, again, the overlapping shapes. You have Von Zin. Oh, sorry. You have Von Zinzer's head here, and then her hand basically completely overlapping his mouth, like both here and here. Um, like again, like Agatha is just entirely in control of this situation, like utterly, like yeah. If you haven't checked Girl Genius in a few years, it may have it's probably progressed past whatever caused you to stop reading in the first place. Um, And yeah, that's a sort of, softer example of what I'm talking about with intimate contact violence. But let's get some manga and anime in here. We have one of the best panels in One Piece. Luffy punching the shit out of one of the celestial dragons. One of the things I like about this panel is it emphasizes you don't need like actual visible contact to emphasize the force behind something. Like Luffy's arm and fist are way over here, and this guy's head is way over here. But it's also just like you can tell, like this point of contact is so utterly powerful. It's just turning this guy's face into jelly. Like implicitly a tooth flying out, blood flying everywhere. It's utterly fantastic. And then, yeah, this is a screen cap from Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. The moment when when Simon tells Rasu to grit those fucking teeth. This is very much emphasizing the point of contact, and especially the twist. Like he had this sort of arm spiraling in here.
Spirals in Gurren Lagann. Yeah.
Hey, look who you're talking to, Brownie Points. I selected these slides. Like you have the emphasis of force here, like bits flying everywhere, like everything tightening up, just really emphasizing the force and like in the moment, like I obviously couldn't prepare to clip for this, but the way it holds on that contact for a moment before he goes flying off. Like just giving those shapes a good long time to like grasp each other before they go flying away.
Mm-hmm.
And then
so the panel above is like some Baki nonsense.
Yeah, this is a panel from Baki the Grappler demonstrating Baki's signature move, the nut shot.
Yep.
That's not even the joke.
That's not a joke.
So, like...
Baki's grotesque.
Yeah, Baki's grotesque, but it's deliberately grotesque. It's very much about, like, bodies and their destruction. Like, just utterly wreaking havoc on each other. Yeah, the muscles are kind of, like, they're not realistic, but they're also, like, not... incorrect, I want to say.
Yeah.
The way Baki muscles get emphasized, it's like just emphasizing the other like inhumanity almost of these human bodies as they like crush and maim each other. And like, what I love about this panel is the way like everything is folding around this kick. Like Baki's own body just like bending in this incredibly weird way to deliver it, and it's just utterly lifting this guy off the ground. And like like his shorts are distending, like even his muscles like that are closer to it are almost like tightening up. And it's devastating. Yeah, early JoJo. Yeah, there's a bit of that. Just yeah, it's the hyperbole. They're accurate but inhumanly toned. Although there, are cases where they get into truly insane territory.
Very much.
Muscles,
yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's a great example of intimate contact violence. Like, you've got the overlapping shapes here. I'm not going to draw a circle around his foot, and, the implicit dick. But, yeah, you get it. So, yeah, and so for, terms of violence, like, there's intimacy there, and it's all about, like, emphasizing the impact of shape against shape.
Third floor draft, there's definitely some feet stuff in Baki, where Baki grabs stuff with his feet, and you can definitely see the toe knuckles.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, the entire thing about Baki is, what wild shit can we make up about the body's capabilities? So yeah, this is actually my last slide before we get to the credits. But I did have one more sketch prepared. So yeah, I'll do the sketch, then go through the credits. So I'm gonna move this slightly over here. Same with this one. Just get them out of our way.
I'm just eating a sandwich in the corner.
Yeah. And here's my last sketch. This one might be a bit hard to parse at first glance. The idea is it is one person on top of another, punching them out while they struggle and grapple with each other.
Top down, from behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to go for a weird angle here, because the other two were sort of conventional. And when, drawing intimate violence, like, a weird angle can really, like, heighten the mood, I feel like. I'm going to be quiet for a little while because my throat's starting to feel strained. But yeah, I'm going to start drawing that, and I hope you all enjoy as I figure out what exactly this should look like.
I'm curious, since we've got a bunch of people who like media in the chat, if there's any like really specifically good fight scenes or things. I know Jacob Geller did a video on Ip Man, it goes into about a bunch of detail about like the staging and choreography. But yeah, One Punch Man, yeah. Thing is, there's very little contact in One Punch Man. Maybe Chainsaw Man.
Actually, yeah. When you think about it, there's very little, like, actual signs of contact. It's all either, like...
Mm-hmm.
Even when Saitama isn't involved, it's either, like, one character getting bodied or not, or, like, stuff almost bouncing off each other.
Yeah. It's a little more like that panel with Luffy that you picked. Mm-hmm. Now I can't remember the name of the pirate. One Piece. I was like, it's not One Punch. It's One Piece. One Piece has a lot of contact and such. But in that panel, you just saw the post effect. It's kind of like Fist of the North Star, where you just see like the motion and then the follow through.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim. That's
Ooh.
yeah. That I don't know. It might be worth just finding the thing it's referencing to look at. Scott Pilgrim's not bad, and the new series is great and fun, uh, but it's referencing something. Also, might be worth looking at fighting games like Street Fighter or Tekken.
Yeah, fighting games are especially interesting because they can't they can't tailor each individual hit. Like it's all got to be, you know, like okay, this is what it looks like when this character gets hit by this sort of category of attack,
Hmm.
or even just like this is their hit, but this is their hit got hit animation.
But there's specifically like the big finishing moves where there's a
Ooh,
lot
yeah.
of interaction between the characters, usually, like Zangief picking someone up and pile driving them.
Oh yeah, actually, I have seen that, especially with like, what's a Roman Pancration character?
Oh, Marissa?
Yeah, Marissa. I fucking love Marissa. And like I especially love her supers where they emphasize just her fist just absolutely like caving somebody's face in.
Right.
Like I do think that's a very good example.
Hmm. There's also possibly some sports like football or rugby that involve a lot of contact, although like maybe the uniforms for football at least would sort of distort that, although that's again kind of useful to look at, like the way padding for like hockey or something like that
Hmm.
impacts things. The mangaka behind Golden Kamuy started a hockey series recently,
Hmm.
so I'm thinking about that. I just love that style because it's more dynamic and exaggerated, kind of like the grappler Baki stuff, although that's an extreme.
Yeah. It's like somewhere in a happy medium between something utterly gentle and Grappler Baki, which is the like sort of end point.
Uh huh. Hmm? Yeah. Kung Fu Hustle. Yeah. Stephen Chow stuff.
Hmm.
Maybe not the mermaid one. Also, kind of wondering about scenes where there's contact with like an invisible force
Ooh, yeah.
or like an invisible opponent. So you see, there would be the overlap, but you only see like the impression.
Yeah, I'll probably try and get some cross hatching in here to emphasize the point of the blow. I already like how this is taking shape.
Hmm.
Uh, uh,
Absalom Deck is Wonder Woman Dead Earth an animated movie?
yeah,
Or is it a
Wonder
comic?
Woman, Dead Earth.
See, Brownie Point says it was a limited run. It's a comic. Yeah, the Marvel comics have some stuff. Spider-Man typically has some great.
I'm sorry, brownie points. That's the one where she covers the lasso of truth with Superman's spine. Okay, I need to know more about this.
Just gonna. Sorry, I need to get to my notebook. Wonder Woman Dead Earth. Yes, good. Metal AF, yes. Are there any good references for characters with like prosthetics as well? Like Furiosa or something?
Ooh, that'd be good. You know, I wonder if you could get by with like screen caps of Sekiro for prosthetic stuff. Because there's the you're using the prosthetic arm for basically the entire thing. I'd love to do a deep dive on the animations of that. Because the the way the sort of like flick he does when he's switching like between prosthetic tools, like the way he like reaches out and yanks when he's using the grappling hook, like. And yeah, that's another. Actually, that's a great reference point also for what I'm talking about with intimate violence, especially with like these stealth kills, like basically getting right behind someone, slitting their throat or like stabbing them
Or
through the heart,
even a
or the
garrote?
almost like yeah. Also, there's like so in Sekiro, not to stop drawing here, but I want to emphasize there are some death blows in that are almost intimate, like with certain characters where like you getting like Sekiro gets in close and like drives the blade through their heart and is almost like leaning against them like tenderly as
Hmm.
they like start to slump, and then draws their blade, but it's almost like sort of emphasizing at the moment of the kill, there is also like regret.
Yeah. Classic samurai.
Oh yeah.
In Elden Ring, Commander Nile has a prosthetic leg.
Interesting.
It's got a sword attached to it. Oh no, I haven't seen it. What's that one movie with the person with the machine gun leg? It's Grindhouse.
Yeah, one of those. I think Grindhouse was like a compilation, and like the Machine Gun Leg was like from one of the movies in that compilation, but I can't remember. I would have been in my teens, I guess, when that movie came out.
Yeah, Planet Terror. There we go. I think there's some like spots where that leg is involved in kind of some grappling stuff, but I don't quite recall. But that's just for like violence.
Mm-hmm. That's just violence. That's not intimate violence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see how this is looking without the sketch. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I think I think we're doing pretty good here. I like how the hair came out in this one.
Little ponytail.
Well, little ponytail, but also like this bit right here, where you can sort of see like the grip,
Mm-hmm.
like thanks to the hair. Yeah. Yeah. Concerning the amount of time spent on it, I am quite proud of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with that done, I am going to start getting into the credit section where I talk about the stuff I used as references.
Sure.
And And after that, we can just spend some time, working on, doing some touch-ups on our work so far. So yeah. Credits one. Yeah, so Ayaka is in love with Hiroko by Sao Jiang, available at Manga Plaza. Basically, extremely thirsty office worker Ayaka tries to flirt with her superior Hiroko. Hiroko is a massive lesbian, but is utterly convinced that Ayaka is straight.
Huh.
Hilarity and frustration ensues. That's like the panel I pulled from it is like probably the big one, but there is a lot of emphasis on like awkward contact up to this point. Like basically Ayaka really doing her best to try to like get her feelings to come across in increasingly obvious ways, and Hiroko like pulling out a champion effort to dodge every single one. Run away with me, girl. Like this is, I want to call it basically like Hands, the Yuri manga. Just the way like hand holding is emphasized, the way like, as I said, there's a content warning for domestic abuse. Like the way the hands in those scenes are framed to like emphasize like coldness or rejection or tension or violence is incredible. Hello Melancholic by Usawa Yayoi. I'm probably mangling these names. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, available via Seven Seas Entertainment. Manic pixie drummer girl insistently befriends a shy, awkward trumpet girl. Miscommunication and communication in equal measure ensue. It's a very fun, cute little manga. Like incredible art. Like I cannot emphasize enough that especially these these first three manga have just some of the best art I've ever seen in a manga. I pulled some of the images from one of Adzi and Jane's own comics, USXW 6XX. I'll not be linking it directly as it is an adult comic. If you are 18 or older, I'm sure you will be able to find it somewhere. Yeah. I further pulled some of my reference pictures from Arcana Watch. Anyone can read Arcana Watch at arcanawatch.com, sort of our flagship thing. Baki by Itagaki Keisuke, available from Bookwalker. I've basically had a friend going through all of Baki, like sort of posting the highlights. And it's been really interesting to just see the way it like emphasizes fucked up anatomy and sort of gets into weird territory with the way these men fight each other.
Yep.
Like, oh god, there's one scene that like at first glance looks like it's the like Muppets making out meme, but it's like basically two characters like trying to bite each other's tongues out.
Yep.
And it's just like, wow, what a perfect demonstration of everything I've talked about here regarding intimate contact and violence. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann needs no introduction by Studio Gainax. It's currently available at Crunchyroll, I believe. Girl Genius, available at Girl Genius Online. Like, incredible webcomic. Not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, but I particularly enjoyed it. One Piece also needs no introduction. It's One Piece by Ichiro Oda. Thank you, Oda-san. And then finally, I Can't Say No to the Lonely Girl by Kashikaze. This one is available in English from Kindle/Amazon. I was not able to find like the name of the official English publisher, so it might just be Amazon is the publisher.
Or like self-published.
Yeah, self-published maybe. Like which piece needs no introduction? One Piece. We are. Anyway.
Sorry, we are what? We're what?
uh, that's the name of that. That's the name of the opening songs, right?
We're on a cruise? I just wanted you to say it.
All right. So yeah, that's been the meat of my presentation. So I guess for the rest of the stream, I'm gonna be touching up those drawings we worked on.
Mhm.
And
Applause, chat. Applause.
I mean, I don't need applause, but I do appreciate it. Um,
Applause.
maybe swing by some of the stuff I've mentioned. But yeah, so we'll finish up those drawings we've made, and I'm happy to, engage in any discussion people want, with the chat or whatever, any other topics, and just like anybody's favorites in terms of like the stuff the stuff we've discussed today. Like, what's your favorite romantic scene? What's your favorite, hug in, cinema or whatever? Tell me about it.
Favorite
I want
hug
to hear.
in cinema.
Yeah.
Favorite hug. Oh, well, Hmm. I kind of like an upstream color where they're just like huddled in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
That one's nice.
Upstream color.
Yeah. It's kind of a psychological horror. There's a bit of body horror in there.
Ooh.
It's kind of people whose lives fall apart outside of their control and they don't know, like no one believes them that it was caused by someone else.
Big fan of the one between Lil and Rocket in
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, Adzi mentioned Witch from Mercury. Yeah,
Gundam Witch for Mercury?
Witch from Mercury. The zero-G hug between Suletta and Mjorn.
Yeah.
Like after Mjorn has been like sort of beaten on Suletta's chest for a
In
bit, and then just
Gundam,
like
when the
grabs her.
when the helmets
like,
touch, that's
desperately.
kissing. The helmets touching is kissing in Gundam, okay? You have to
Yeah,
know
it
this
is.
going in.
There's a lot of great contact there, and I really love the way it plays with the contrast between intimate contact, reaching out to someone, like intimate contact violence, like your hand is covered in blood because you slipped into blood from the person you crushed with your giant
Whoops!
robot.
Tomatoes! There's some of the worst looking tomatoes in that series. Like, oh my god. Do not bite into those tomatoes. That's like real Denethor shit.
Ometa.
Tomato. Oh yeah, Dungeon Meshi has, or Delicious in Dungeon has some good hugs.
Mm-hmm. Denethor's tomato eating lives rent free in my head and ignores all my eviction notices. Oh yeah, the That's just a mouth hug.
What is eating if not mouth hugs? Now we're getting into vor.
Yeah, what is eating but intimate violence? Hi, this was my secret fourth part where I talk about vor. No.
Okay, we're going into Gleipnir. If you wear your friend as a meat suit, that's intimate contact.
Yes.
Yeah. When they're wearing a bathing suit and they're stepping into your meaty insides. uh
I'm taking this as an opportunity to get paid for drawing fan art of Friends characters, basically, for this first one. Look, they were forefront in my mind when I was putting together this discussion of just like comforting intimate contact.
Right.
None of you can stop me.
None of us can stop you.
This is piggyback ride erasure.
Oh, piggyback rides are also really good. That's definitely more of a manga thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
I very rarely see piggyback rides.
Like animated?
Yeah. Last time I had a piggyback ride, my ass was entirely out. It was devastating.
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
It happens. Judas and Jesus, another good hug, and that was in the Bible. Thanks, brownie points.
Smooches. Were you at a nudist colony? No, I was. My pants didn't fit.
Oops. Yeah, that does make me think of like the Judas and Jesus thing. There's a lot of like, maybe that's just because like I'm incredibly internet poisoned, like, and have been on Tumblr too long. But there's definitely a lot of like, you know, there are people out there exploring the relationship between Judas and Jesus, and like looking into the intimate contact there.
Oh yeah, there's been discourse about that for centuries.
Oh yeah. Let's get some heresies in here, people.
Right?
Hmm. And recent decades because of Jesus Christ Superstar. Yeah, there's a bit from Girl Genius actually that I wanted to get in, but I was like, like visually it doesn't have quite as much impact. Basically, it's one character beating another to death, and just like it gets that intimate contact not through like outright displaying it, but basically it's framing between one character's like fist sort of raised as they like beat on this other character, and it cuts back to the other's face, and it's just utterly destroyed. This is a character that like in the style has been very conventionally attractive and made up, and like it cuts back to her being utterly ruined, and it's just this very emphatic moment of violence that culminates in her being choked out. And it's just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about in terms of like intimate violence. Is brunch a code word here? I'm not up on I'm not up on all of my code words.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. It's just Molly Lila saying Jesus' besties were 12 dudes plus one gal who was a sex worker. You try telling me they would never went to brunch.
Well, it's everybody talking about the Last Supper, but never hear about the Last Brunch. It's kind of jokes. Just saying, Judas Jesus has legs on this ship. The ship has legs. Why does the ship have legs, Molly? Are they under the water paddling like a duck?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good on that one.
I like brunch, and now you're telling me it's a sex thing?
Everything has legs in Horse Club. I mean, provably not.
Well,
Like I did not draw legs on at least two of these characters.
they're on the inside.
Well, that's vampire time. Judas Jesus ship doesn't hold water because it walks on it. Okay, you got me there.
You look back and there were 0 footprints. That's because we were walking on water.
If it doesn't leak, no one can bail out of it.
Well, whatever floats your boat. Honestly, in Steven Universe, they sank a ship with a head cannon, and that was beautiful. Bernoulli's principle floats my boat.
No, our ship. I sunk your ship with a head cannon.
You shanked my Jenga ship. Oh, you are. It's kind of a Hamsar. I tried.
Oh yeah, just got a gentle reminder. So, if I can, talk a bit of shop real quick.
Yeah.
Arcana Watch, one of the things that I used in this example, and Maya and Adsy's own work.
The one that's free for anybody to read.
Yeah, the one that's free for everybody to read. But if you don't want to read it online, we are working on getting a print edition out there. There is going to be a Kickstarter for that. If that interests you at all, potentially sign up for the Adsy and Jane Discord server. All of our news is going to be there, about when we get things started and progress on the print edition and all of that stuff. So,
So if you go to arcanawatch.com, are there links for all of this?
Arcanawatch.com. Yeah, arcanawatch.com. There is a Discord link on the sidebar. I'm not sure if we can post the Discord link directly in chat, but,
I'd say go ahead at this point.
Yeah. Adsy, do it. But yeah, so
Juliamon doesn't advise it. Okay. Listen to the mods and not Corey.
We will not. We might have a filter.
Yeah, you might get timed out or something.
Gotcha. But yeah, if you head to arcanawatch.com, there is a link to the Discord right there in the sidebar. Come check us out. We'd love it. Steven Universe made me think, according to Brownie Points, regular show is another one that shows good intimate contact of a variety of forms,
Huh.
variety of ways.
I've never watched regular show. Isn't it a bunch of like animals? It's like a bird.
That's my impression, yes.
Yeah. So I guess you get more of the cartoony contact.
Mm-hmm. There we go. I like red hair.
I think you've mentioned that before.
Have I?
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Maybe. It may have come
But
up.
it always bears repeating.
Uh-huh.
I fucking love red hair. Just like a picture of Iron Bull from Dragon Age Inquisition. Redheads. Boo. Yeah. More Mordecai. So yeah, let's see, what else can I talk about? Regular shows like this close to being an Adult Swim show,
Uh-huh.
fair enough. I am thinking about these characters now. Oh yeah, sorry, I just got another reminder. Addy and I are going to be at UwuCon in Arizona this November.
Oh.
Yes, it's called UwuCon. But yeah, we're actually going to have a booth there. So our very first convention booth, as opposed to the Artist Alley table we had at Anthrocon earlier this month. That was a lot of fun.
Anthro. So, like, you mentioned, like, the hand in the hair and that kind of being, let's say, a challenge or something that you were proud of in your sketch.
Yeah,
so,
right
Anthro makes me think, like, just full fur characters. Like, that must be a thing, like, hard. Like, not that furry artists aren't amazing, just it's something I didn't think about with, like, fuzzy creatures.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be hard to get the fur right. Like, it took Pixar so many years.
I mean, Anthrocon is literally one of the largest furry conventions in, the U.S., possibly the world. So it is appropriate for that to be called to mind. And yeah, like it can be troublesome to render fur correctly when you're like getting that grip in there.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of it can be tempting to use a lot of shortcuts to be like, yeah, no, this fur is basically behaving like skin.
Yeah, kind of like the Disney version.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like all these animals have short hair.
Long and fluffy? What's that?
Never heard of it.
God, I am not going to be able to stop thinking about this werewolf and vampire pair. Like,
well,
I may draw a mini comic about them. We'll see. Come for the art lesson, stay for the werewolf erotica.
I mean, we're not streaming it. Oh, as he's already started writing it.
That's why I love her. She's so reliable.
Yeah. Here's your homework, chat. Just write a small, like, 4-panel comic and then try to draw it, and it has to involve the characters touching at one point.
Yeah.
That's your homework.
If you want to. It would be a good... honestly, like, that sounds like a great exercise. Like, just like, hey, here are your very, loosely defined goals. Have at it.
Yep. It's okay if only Adzi and Jane do it. Oh, yeah, Molly's
Fine.
correct. Post-it notes are great for practicing panel comics.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I've previously mentioned this in art streams. Like, what got me back into doing art was basically just taking a pen and drawing on scratch paper or, like, disposable sketchbooks and just, like, draw, like, not being able to go back and undo or erase or anything. Great way to practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's how muscle touching fanfics get made.
I'm thinking about muscle touching fanfics now, just like...
Yeah. The muscles are definitely getting touched in this tableau.
But in muscle touch, you can't touch your own muscles, so you have to touch someone else's muscles. And it's generally just like a poke, so it's like just poking the squidgy. We're not doing pencil touching, Molly. No pencil touching. No. Mm-mm.
Well, if you muscle someone else's muscles,
then that's not touching, is it? It's not muscle touch unless you follow the directions.
Oh, Neungin brings up a great point regarding furries. The internal conflict when you want humanoid hands, but also toe beans.
Yeah, and like the number of fingers and where the thumb goes.
Mm-hmm. Like, how humanoid do you make him? Like, and people have answered that question to their own satisfaction across the spectrum. Like, this is definitely a much more humanoid werewolf, or at least a werewolf at a earlier stage of transformation. Like, not able to quite go full wolf. And domineering vampire going, "Aw, what a cute little puppy. I'm gonna take you home." Hmm.
Well, maybe you should wait until you see what the script is like.
Oh boy. I really like what you've got going on here with your iteration of the meme.
Yeah.
By the way.
It's still kind of recognizable, but it's...
Yeah.
No, their heads are attached.
Listen, if it's good enough for Rayman.
Yep, we're here for like the Nintendo Mii edition of Body Contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are we coming up on another break shortly?
We are.
Excellent.
You can take it anytime you like.
Yeah, that would be good actually.
All right, we'll be back after.
We'll come back to this
after some commercials.
Yeah.
Enjoy the bees. Welcome back, everybody, to Can't Draw Horses Club. Today, Jane and I are drawing people touching each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we've got a bunch of sketches and such on the go. Just cleaning them up from earlier. I'm looking at stock photos of people in headlocks.
Oh god, that's amazing.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think one of your crew mentioned when you were doing something that used stock photos in one of your Lillian Ray live segments. But basically, the people in stock photos are emoting at 5,000%.
Oh.
Like, and that makes them incredible as references because like when you're drawing, you really need to get across like an expression.
Yep. Can't have your pose too stiff.
Hey now, Thursarkar, I don't think that's on the table. I think our werewolf boy is more durable than that. But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, the final panel's just a headstone and a gravesite.
That's crusade. Here lies werewolf boy. You know what? I'm taking name suggestions now. What are the vampire and werewolf's names? Who are these people? Why have they shown up on my page?
Yep. What are their names, Adsy?
Yeah. Vivian and Oliver. Nice. Cute. I like it. I can get behind that. Viv and Ollie. Good names. Agreed. Yeah, since we've got a full hour, after I finish drawing this last one, I'll probably go back and do some shading even. Luxurious.
Luxury.
Oh, Thor Sarkar has suggested Carmilla and Carl, which is, you know, I do love Carmilla as a name. I'm a big fan of the like original story of Carmilla, and also, you know, the many modern adaptations that, you know, take the tact of, you know, actually a hot vampire girlfriend for a lesbian is a great idea.
That's exclusive to lesbians, though. You can't have a straight Carmilla.
Yeah. Straight Carmilla is Queen of the Damned.
Ha! Yeah.
Yeah. Whose name was Akasha? Oh, is that a question or a like answer?
It's an answer for Queen of the Damned.
Oh, Queen of the Damned was apparently named Akasha. Good to know.
Oh. Isn't that the book that Lestat's from? Trying to remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I am currently thinking about, you know, in regards to our topic for today, The Princess Bride. You know, never far from my thoughts.
There's piggybacking in that.
There is piggybacking in that, but there's also like the, you know, of all the kisses in the world, this one left them all behind.
Yep.
And just like, yeah, that is a fantastic kiss. Like in terms of how it is like portrayed by the movie.
It's really in silhouette, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an incredible silhouette. Like, I think So the relationship between silhouettes and kissing is basically like the sort of like pinnacle of what I'm talking about with like comfortable intimate contact, where it's just like you only have like the outline of the overlapped shapes. But if
Right.
you get it right, it's this incredible moment of just like, oh, oh gosh, an incredible moment of emotional catharsis. Okay, apparently Queen of the Damned is the third book.
Oh. I think I only read like 2 Anne Rice books.
Ooh, yeah, actually, uh, going back to Princess Bride
Right.
again, because I this is now making me think of a bunch of things. The scene where Vizzini has Buttercup at knife point,
Yep.
like with the drinks, like that's a great example. Just like the sheer tension of him, like holding his hand there for a while, just like really trying to emphasize his control over the situation, like. I had no idea what's up with Anne Rice, and I'm grateful for that. Regarding the Meerkat.
Yeah. That's fine. Your feelings about stuff doesn't have to stay the same your whole life.
Yeah, she's eventually like, actually, not this. Let's see here. Yeah. I just glanced over at that headlock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, that's amazing. Oh, that's fantastic. I should try drawing that as soon as I'm done with this.
Yeah. I'm still just tracing because I'm not really good at the forms,
Yeah, no worries.
but it helps me.
Yeah.
Uh, like
It
the
helps you grasp
tracing.
the forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
a lot of what I do to practice is I basically just uh pull in a picture into Clip Studio Paint. Like I don't trace anymore, but I do like and basically like drawing sidelong to it. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
is my how is my eye developing? Can I see the important shapes in this and replicate them in my own work?
Right.
Yeah. Which has gotten me to the point where I can, do perspective like this. It's turning out pretty darn well. I don't know what these two are fighting about, but you know, I'd like to think it's something important. But it might be about beer or Immanuel Kant. to pull a really old feed dump reference.
Uh, there we go. I figured out where the shoulder is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get those joints in there. They're important for defining your points of contact. GIF or GIF? It's GIF, right? Oh, they're fighting over whether it's pronounced aluminum or
Aluminium. No, I'm
aluminium. Is it
I'm
both?
anti.
Like,
It is. Although
but like,
the Brits added the extra to make it matchy with other ones. So
well, fuck the Brits.
exactly.
Sorry, Adsy. I know you. Like that just popped out, and I realized a moment later. Oh shit, Adsy.
No, it's too late. You've gone too far.
Well, I've completely shattered my personal relationships.
No.
Awesome. No bullying. No bullying them. Aluminum is correct. Thank you, Adsy.
Yeah. It's peak performance.
Yeah, the story was two Russians who broke into a fist fight discussing modern philosophy. Immanuel Kant was the real fist that was very rare, at least. Heidegger. Yeah. That is exactly the episode I was thinking of.
The Bruces.
Yeah, I think it was the Bruces.
It's the Bruces.
It's the Bruces. Good day, Bruce. All right.
There's I think it was Amazon or Apple series called Patriot, and in one of the episodes, the main guy tries to get money back from a group of wrestlers,
Yeah.
and they all just kind of grab different limbs and pin him.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a really good show, but that one scene is amazing.
yeah, I feel like wrestlers are sort of the group that would be very hard to get your money back from.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, are they able to pay and are they willing to pay? The answer may surprise you. Or it may not.
I think about Patriot all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those shows. It's just like it just lives there. Just like I'm so impressed.
I still find it's interesting. All right, shading's done on that one.
Welcome Raiders. Hey Lumi.
Linear burn. Hello, Lumi. Thank you for joining us. We're drawing bodies in contact in varying levels of tension.
Yeah. On the left we've got nice, in the middle we've got uncomfortable, and on the right we've got violence. Thor Sokar has asked what show people go back to watch again.
Oh God. No, I have an answer to this one. Let me think for a second.
I do it more with TV than movies.
Yeah. Show is difficult. I like for shows. I tend to just rewatch like podcasts or summaries or stuff. It's very like I like background stuff that I can that I don't have to focus on the screen all the time because I have ADHD. In terms of like stories I can go back to all the time. I think I've reread She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat for the 5th time, like this year, just last week. So, there's that. Hey, 321 TV is rating with a party of 3. Thank you so much.
Welcome Raiders.
Yeah. But yeah, this is me being a Yuri manga nerd again, but She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat is just an incredibly lovely, soft little series, and it makes me feel things so much. And like, there's one moment, I want to say the second volume, where like one of the leading ladies like just uses a finger to like take a crumb off of the other's face, and it's just like, oh. And you like really, you're just like, I'm so excited for like this incredibly minor touch.
Have you seen the Handmaiden?
The Handmaiden?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay, it's a little violent.
Yeah.
But there's a couple scenes, there's a couple small scenes in that movie that are notable.
They're like that.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
They're not horrible. It's just very intimate touches.
Yeah, vulnerable.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Vulnerability is like oh God, this is what I want for my own work. Is like I want to be able to capture vulnerability because that is like having that in your visuals, like without needing characters to say anything out loud is just like that's the goal.
Well, that's also like a kind of a female gaze, male gaze thing. Like the vulnerability is definitely a female turn on, I would guess.
Yeah, that's fair. That is indeed, like speaking as a female, that's what I want out of that is what I want out of my media.
As for stuff that I've rewatched, Lucifer and Once Upon a Time, because Heather and I are both degenerates and love stupid shows. The Wilds I rewatched because I like survival stuff. Patriot I've seen twice. Sometimes I'll watch anime with the dubs on instead of the subs so that I can like play video games at the same time. Sometimes it takes a little bit to like mentally shift from what I remember the voices sounding like for the characters.
Mhm. That sounds like a good way to get stuff. Oh, actually, in terms of shows that uh, I've been watching and enjoying recently, uh, my wife and I have been watching Freyrin, which has been really good, really affecting.
Freyrin?
Freyrin, God, what's the subtitle? Freien. You know, the one with the immortal elf girl.
No, I don't know it.
Freyrin Beyond Journey's End.
Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's basically it basically takes the like Dragon Quest setup of, you know, a party of adventurers defeating the Demon King.
Yep.
It's like, okay, what happens to the immortal elf mage after that? Like, and basically sort of the first episode is her like wandering around after the adventure and then coming back, like, you know, to the town where the hero lives and discovering he's like an old man,
Yeah.
like tiny turtle style old man.
I saw a
And
post
it's
the
just
other
like,
day that's like, to dogs, humans are the ancient elves.
I mean, that isn't that basically the premise of Pugmire? That's a
I've only
tabletop game.
seen
Yeah.
I have the rule book,
Ooh.
but I've never played. So I've only seen a bit of the flavor. Now I want to play Pugmire.
I mean, if you need players, like, you know, count me in. But yeah, Pugmire. Um, yeah, Freyrin is a show about life and loss and the passage of time, and it's really good.
Uh-huh.
Just a lot of fun, lots of vulnerable moments, a lot of surprisingly good action scenes too.
Right now I'm rewatching a show called I Love Dick. It's on Amazon. It's
Interesting title.
Catherine Hahn, and she's married to an academic, and they move out to like the middle of nowhere where Kevin Bacon has like an art workshop. And she's an independent filmmaker, but she kind of goes off the rails a bit and then starts writing letters about how attracted she is to Kevin Bacon and makes like an art project out of it. So it's a lot about like art, communication, and also in some cases like erotic art, because there's some nudity and sex in it. But it's also like there's lots of gender stuff. It's complicated because it's like all these young artists and then academics sort of bumping heads with each other about their different expectations for what they want to get out of, you know, life and art.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I also just love Catherine Hahn.
Sounds very Bean John Malkovich.
A bit. Yeah.
According to Square.cube. Interesting. I should watch that movie.
I've also never seen it. But I know enough.
I read the description in like a top 100 movies you absolutely must see.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I'm always here for a trippy premise.
Yesterday I tried watching Buffalo 66 and then no, I don't want to watch it.
Sure. All right. Got some shading in there.
Yeah.
That turned out all right.
Wet Leg makes it sound like a reason to come visit someone, but no, it's not. If someone invites you to see Buffalo 66 with them, don't.
That turned out pretty good. Okay. I think I'm going to try drawing a headlock.
Okay. Do you want the same reference I used, or?
Yeah, toss it my way.
All right. Uh,
Yeah. I may run to the bathroom real quick while you're doing that because I have been drinking a lot of water.
okay. Well, we can go just look at me for a while. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
It's Corey.
Yeah.
I'm just here to talk to you while I post stuff in Discord. To mute my guests and check my messages. Good messages. Now back to chat. Hey, everybody. Now I'm wondering if I've seen Spike Jonze movies. Wait, which Spike Jonze? Not the Where the Wild Things Are Spike Jonze? Welcome back.
Thank you. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and draw this pose with two of my existing characters. I'm going to go for the twin sisters, Elizabeth and Maria, because this seems like something that would have happened to them at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically them. But
Whoop.
all right.
Wrong button. Squooch. Yes. Okay. Yes, I've seen her Where the Wild Things Are and Adaptation, but not being John Malkovich. I do like Adaptation. Is that a Charlie Kaufman? Now I'm thinking about movies. Your fight scene reminded me of Evangelion.
Ooh, yeah.
There's definitely some of that, especially in the most recent one. It's kind of an extended fight scene in that.
Mm-hmm.
Where they used like a motion control rig to plan it out using DualShock controllers as the motion capture.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the right shoulder on the person doing the headlock that gave me the most trouble. Because
Yeah.
it was lower than I thought it was.
Yeah, because you basically have it at a right angle here, so the shoulder ends up need to be basically down here.
The other shoulder. Their right shoulder. The one that's up. Because it's coming
right,
up
yeah.
from below and then across.
Yeah, no, okay, absolutely.
Okay, now Thor Sokar is asking what's the worst movie anyone's seen. Maybe even walked out.
Worst?
300?
So the fortunate thing for me is I don't. I'm really bad with long form media. I've walked out of a lot of movies, not even because they were bad, but because I get sensorily overstimulated.
Right?
Like I walked out of Avatar The
Did
blue
you see it in
people one.
3D? Oh wait, the witch?
Uh,
The witch one?
the blue people one.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that one in
Yes.
3D.
James Cameron. And yeah, I do think it was in 3D. And yeah, I did get a headache, like a really bit, like because I can't wear the 3D glasses over my glasses. It's awful.
Right.
Like, and I have to wear my glasses. I can't see shit without these things.
Mm-hmm. Measured of Hope brings up Cloverfield, which got me very motion sick. Like even like covering your eyes didn't help because the audio spatial stuff was also whipping around.
Yeah. Oof. God, that sounds awful.
Suicide Squad is pretty bad. I watched that while I was on a cruise. It was not worth it.
Yeah. The issue with trying to remember the worst movie I've ever seen is that like if something's bad, like unless you do the frickin' Ludovico technique or whatever on me, like I will check out. Like I will check out hard. I will not experience it.
I really like Aliens Resurrection though. I like the stupid acid blood. The Hobbit was okay. I saw it at the
Oh,
high frame rate.
I saw The Hobbit, and I think that I can safely say that's probably the worst movie I've actually sat all the way through.
I think like the Battle of Five Armies was worse. Although there was like too much Stephen Fry. Like if you have Stephen Fry, don't make him do multiple characters in the same movie.
I know that Stephen Fry is an actor I've heard of. I don't know who specifically he would be.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Trying to think of something like a common reference for Stephen Fry. He hosted QI for a really long time.
Oh, Stephen Fry?
Yes.
Okay. I think I got the name mixed up or something.
Okay.
Okay, I know who Stephen Fry is.
Yes. But he's like the
I've seen-
Goblin King in The Hobbit and the mayor of Mantown. Yeah, the problem isn't that Stephen Fry was in it, just that he was two characters. But again, yeah, Polar Express is a better call for that kind of nonsense. Where you got someone voicing too many people. Like it kind of works in Anomalisa, but it's the whole point.
Like I'm sure there are incredible voice actors out there who can voice multiple characters in the same movie and like pull it off, but you shouldn't make them do that.
Yeah, some video games can really, really stretch voice actors' abilities. They'll be like 12 people. We're like doing little background sounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, you're in here to voice Commander Shepard. How about you do these werewolf backgrounds for a different game? We just need grunts. Grr. It's like when people use the same model as reference for all the all the female characters or something like that.
Oh god, and they all end up yeah, every female character's hips are like that. What's the problem? And every single one is a freaking hourglass.
Because it's the same person.
Yeah.
Still trying to think of like what the worst movie I've seen is. I don't know.
Part of the reason for I'm just gonna say it, Maria and Elizabeth's designs here, they are both like plus size girls, like even from a young age, like, and that's just part of the character design. They're both still like they both go out and fight monsters every night still. Like their size does not dictate their capability in the least.
That's good.
Yeah. Context for this is probably Maria said something extremely rude, and Elizabeth is not having that shit.
Immanuel Kant is a real pissant.
Either that or their twin sisters, they do fight about a lot of stuff when they're not being weirdly psychic.
Weirdly psychic.
Yeah. Yeah, as opposed to a regular amount of psychic.
Yeah. Like everyone has.
Yeah, your basic ESP, your basic telekinesis.
It's okay, Amber Becky. You get as many tries as you need to type a message.
You can get there. We believe in you.
No. One day we'll figure out what you're trying to communicate. Brownie points, do you have the names of the reference books that you're trying to recommend?
Oh, Morpho. If I have to guess, brownie points. Yeah.
Yep, brownie point says yes.
Yeah, Morpho Anatomy. The series is Morpho Anatomy for Artists. They have an incredible selection, like, of just absolutely top tier stuff. Like, I've got some of their. I do have a few Morpho books. They're amazing. Like, really good if you want to study forms. I like how this has turned out.
It's good. It's strong.
Thank you. The girls are fighting.
It's like, nah! Like, not even words, just indistinct noises. Now, Amber Becky, we remember the Bruces. We made reference to them earlier, so the whatever, the Philosopher's Song.
Immanuel Kant was real peasant. Blah,
Yep.
blah, 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 blah. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. All good. I think the movies I don't like the most are ones where like no one tried. It's just like, oh, this is a sequel, so just I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
make its money. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Like everyone's just showing up for a paycheck. Like I won't say that across the board, but it's like if it doesn't have like a strong script or strong directing or just great chemistry between the actors, it has nothing to
Hmm.
really work on. And then you don't get anything out of it, and it's just kind of like a waste of everybody's time.
Hmm. No, yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, it's better. It's better to try and fail,
Yeah,
or make something extremely weird that no one else can understand. It's just like that's really
yeah,
off-putting to a lot of people.
yeah. Make it weird.
Yeah, yeah. Gray sludge. That's a good description, or just like bland gloop.
Yeah, extruded movie product.
Yeah, don't like it. Molly brings up Synecdoche, New York, and I think a solid half of the people I know don't like that movie, and I loved it.
I've never even heard of that movie, so
It's Philip Seymour Hoffman.
okay.
Uh, is it a Charlie Kaufman movie? I'm trying to remember who directed it, but it's one of those one-to-one scale map kind of ideas. It's just like a simulated life.
Huh.
It is dark. It is a dark movie. It is a sad movie.
A dark and sad movie? Count me out.
Yeah, it's kind of like a slow-moving bad times.
I see.
Yeah, and it's long, so
So movie bad times and they're long.
uh huh.
Awesome. Yeah. I can definitely there's sometimes when I do need a good cry, when I do need catharsis, but my tolerance for just outright dire stuff, stuff where it's just like this is a tragedy.
So you need like a
Has
Pixar
been like
movie,
yeah, it's been at an all-time low lately. I'm just gonna say it. Things have been tough. I need bright spots.
right? Yeah, I tend to find bright spots grating if I'm feeling bad. It's just like,
Yeah,
ugh, you're happy and I'm miserable. Ugh.
yeah, that's fair.
But I don't always want to feel more miserable.
Yeah. Sometimes you want to be comforted. Sometimes you want a distraction. Sometimes you just want to feel.
Yeah. I'm curious for chat. What's the slowest movie you've ever seen? Like just a real long walk.
Slowest.
Yeah.
Oh God, really difficult question for me because that's as mentioned before. I have ADHD. Like, if a movie's pacing is like slow, I'm there's a good chance I'll walk away.
Batman
It might be.
Forever, Angel?
I do think I do think Lord of the Rings actually is probably the slowest paced movie like I've ever sat all the way through.
My mom used to do that. She would just watch movies for background noise and stuff. So it was like all the Harry Potter movies and the Lord of the Rings extended editions. So I have sat through them. And it was fine. I lived.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Koyaanisqatsi. That's supposed to be slow. I mean, I'm not discounting movies that are supposed to be slow.
Mm-hmm.
Spartacus is pretty slow. I think like the most exciting thing that happens in that is like someone knocks up roof tiles down.
Yeah. Jake Crane brought up Paul Blart's Mall Cop 2. I feel
Nope. I'm just gonna
No.
say no right now. I'm not gonna.
it behooves me to mention the the McElroy and Worst Idea of All Time collaboration project.
Yes.
Till Death Do Us Blart, where they watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 every year, once a year in perpetuity. Which has, for a while, let's see here, they have episodes going back to 2015. Dear God.
Wow. Gosh, Molly, what's the name of the podcast that Laser was doing where they just watched Carol every time? It's like the best worst idea or something.
I think that is the worst idea of all time, where they basically watch a movie once a day, every day for a month. And they're always like...
Best
real
idea of all time.
stinkers.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah, it was just Carol. Just Carol.
just Carol? Okay.
Yeah.
Bestidea.gay. Incredible.
Yeah.
That is an excellent URL.
Just got to make a sequel to that where they just watch Tar.
All right. So if we're coming up on the end of the stream,
We are.
I could start talking about, my bona fides.
Your bona fides.
Um,
Do you have slides for
so-
these?
no, I do not.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jane of Adsy and Jane Comics. Thank you so much for joining us at Cantrell on Cantrell Horses Club this evening. You can find all of our stuff at adsyandjanecomics.com. Links to all of our comics are there. You can contact us there. There's links to our store, our Patreon, our Discord, our Twitch there. My compatriot Adsy streams basically 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. On Saturdays, we do community streams. Monday through Friday, it's generally whatever Adsy feels like playing. Arcana Watch is a Magical Girl webcomic. We're very proud of it. It updates Mondays and Fridays. You can check it out at arcanawatch.com. If our stuff interests you a whole lot, you can check out patreon.com/Adsy and Jane. We'd really appreciate it. We are trying to make this work as an actual business, and we are starting to get there. There's a long road to hoe, but we've come a lot farther than a lot of webcomics people do. We have walked past many graves of those who got to 50 or got to 60 or got to 100, and we're like, we're done. And yeah, so
For you, I've got your Kind.social, Blue Jane.
yeah, kind.social.Blue Jane. Also, I would like to mention I'm currently accepting commissions to just pad out my finances here. We recently spent a lot of money at Anthrocon, and I need to bulk up my funds, for UuCon, since we're going to be selling products and stuff at there. And I see you smirk every time I say UuCon.
Well, it was more that you spent a bunch of money at Anthrocon and now you need more money to spend at UuCon. Which is, yeah.
Look, I know what I'm about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would be really great to be able for both of us to do this full time. So consider checking out, some of the ways you can give us money. We'd really appreciate it. But honestly, it was just fantastic joining you again on Campfire Horses Club, Corey. Like, this is always fantastic every time I come on.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else?
That's. Hey, Adsy, did I miss anything? I know you're in chat still. Yeah. Look, Adsy's like 3/4 of my brain.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything. Nope, you're good.
Okay,
all
we're
right.
good. Fantastic.
So now we
I
can
hit
wave
everything.
goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
time.
Goodbye, Twitch.
All
Goodbye, YouTube. But except it's just actually just by YouTube.
Bye.